Alright, so super excited. Today we are going to bust out a series build with the DIY hardware kit, you guys.
So we've got a few plans that we drafted up for our DIY kit, which is kind of exciting. And essentially it's a series of cut up parts and pieces that you can just go to Home Depot and have them cut them up for you. Which is kind of, we've got this board here. We got this from Home Depot, and you can have them cut it up, or you can do that yourself. We'll show you how to do that, see how it turns out. Let's do this.
So, just like that, we were off to Home Depot to cut up a few pieces of plywood to figure out what kind of plywood that they had available and to also figure out how their whole cutting system works. I definitely recommend going with a friend or having somebody from Home Depot help you with some of the wood because it can be extremely heavy.
Treat me like one of your French girls.
So when it comes to picking your plywood, there's a lot of things to consider, especially as far as density and finish and coloring. We went with a Baltic birch because that's typically what we use with everything that we make. It was finished on one side, so it's nice and smooth, and then on the other side, it was left raw. Once we loaded up the wood onto the cart, we rolled it back to the cutting center, which is generally at the end of all of the lumber areas, and we pressed the button for help. A guy came and he lifted the entire thing off the cart, which was great because we didn't have to do any work. And then we told him exactly how to cut it down. I actually just showed him the plans and was like, okay, let's see what he gives us. And sure enough, he did perfect cuts. Everything was very straight, And just as we continue with this video, we did do a few different iterations of things. So we grabbed another plank for about $16 to make for like a tabletop riser option if you didn't want to use like a tiered stand or like a platform. We thought this would be really fun. It was $17, and we had Home Depot cut a few extra parts for us on their chop saw, which is what they'll use if it's a smaller piece of wood. And then we also show you kind of how we cut it at home with our chop saw. We went ahead and had a few different plans available with us from the DIY kit to have them cut it all down at Home Depot.
So this is a standard 8-foot board. I designed it so that we could have essentially chop off the end, so it's like a clean cut, so we can get a really nice cut, and then we'll go through the rest of the pieces.
So we do have all of the DIY hardware kit. It comes with various plans for you to use and to work off of. It gives you the exact measurements that you need. You can literally take these plans with you to Home Depot and just hand them over to the guy at the cutter and be like, hey, can you cut these for me? You will get a little bit of a raw edge, so if you have a router, you can go and route the edges down. If you don't, just take a sandpaper to break the edge because it can be kind of hard, especially with the Baltic birch plywood.
You have the brown coffee like flowing through like a river.
Coffee.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. Today's coffee is brought to you by Talking Crow Coffee Roasters, Brazil. Their Brazil is the best non-acidic, creamy, milky bathtub of a coffee latte.
It's decaf.
Anyway, moving along, coffee is actually encouraged when doing this project because it will give you a lot of energy to figure out all the parts and pieces and to put them on top of each other, and it's actually pretty simple once you get the hang of it. You just screw the DIY hardware clamps on each end, make sure you've got a nice 90-degree angle, and then just simply tighten the fasteners, and voila, just like that, you've got some really beautiful nesting tables that you can use at different shows and various layouts over and over and over again. What I love about this hardware is that you really can curate your booth the way that you want it and the way that you envision it, just so long as you have the dimensions for the items you're wanting.
Contacts and dust doesn't work. So what's fun about this nesting table is it's actually made from one sheet of plywood that's 4 by 8. You can get it all cut up at Home Depot or Lowe's. wherever your local store is at.
We're gonna do salsa party!
Sriracha sauce.
I mean, you can't really do a pop-up party unless you're gonna do a salsa party. Am I right? We, shouting out the Sriracha sauce company down in Portland. They have an amazing additive for guacamole. Okay, gotta try it. No, we don't have any sponsors for the show, but we really do love shouting out small businesses. And for the final project in this video, we are going to put together a massive kiosk, as we like to say it. This one is super simple. We did have to do it inside because it started raining the next day to film this. What's cool about this is, again, it is included in the DIY plans. It's got, I think, 9 clamps, so you need 5 sets because it each comes with 2 clamps. It's very sturdy. Andre did stand on it. It's hilarious. It is massive though, and it doesn't have any shelving on the inside, so this could potentially be a really good storage solution for everybody that has a lot of backstock it shows. It does take quite a bit longer to put together because you've got a lot of clamps, but it is a great solution for your next market pop-up.